Hello, goddesses. Welcome to another episode of Planet Aphrodite with Meenal. On this free day, we have a goddess who was a storyteller since childhood. Don't we all see dreams? And today's goddess has a dream of becoming a storyteller. And she followed the typical path of studying and getting a job and being busy with her life. And then she decides to follow her passion. So please put your hands together for today's Goddess Sonali. Welcome, Sonali. Welcome to our show, Planet Aphrodite with Meenal. How are
Hi,
you?
Meenal. I am good. Thank you for inviting me on your show.
So, Sonali, tell me about your life. How was your life before taking up this journey?
So, I come from a family who are voracious readers and
Okay.
who have always been into art. I was inclined towards arts since childhood. My father was a good artist. My brother is an architect. My mom loves to create new things. So I came from a family who was always into creativity. So our typical Sundays used to be, reading books rather than, sitting in front of TV and, watching TV. So it was more about reading and more about discussions in, various sectors, whether it is, economic, politics, anything. And since childhood, we've been listening to this. Not a very bright student, I would say, but yeah, I could manage to pass my school, get into college, and yeah, I was always attracted towards capturing moments. So photography is what I completed my education, got into film production to understand the nitty-gritties of how a film is made, because that's what enticed me as a kid as well. Whenever I used to watch TV, I used to wonder, ye banta kaise hai? I mean, how is this thing, how does it come on television? So that's what all I was curious about it. Hence I took up film production, worked for 2 years, and then didn't know what to do. Then PR just happened to me accidentally.
Hmm.
So PR just happened by accident, and the accident lasted for 12 years. I worked with many agencies, public relation agencies, PAWM agencies, work on various clients, met a lot of people, domestic, international, traveled to a lot of places and things like that. But there was always a void somewhere. I felt that void of creativity, though PR is very creative. It's about telling the stories of your client to the media and then eventually to the masses through media. But then, I wanted to do something which was more creative than that. Just, not tell a brand story, but also, talk about the stories that I are brewing in my head, or something which is related to more, something which is more creative. So during the time I was doing PR, I did a small course of landmark, and then it had a project wherein you have to take up something, cause related to your community, and then do a project around it, impact the lives of people, make a difference in the lives of people. So I picked up a project which was related to the education and career guidance of people with disability, kids with disability. It was for parents and kids, and I formed this group called Wake Up India, wherein we had we had formed a panel of around nine people coming from different areas of life who work in the sector of disability, and we reached out to about 2000 schools in within 2 months with Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. And that's where we started talking to a lot of parents and kids and understanding their problems in terms of what is the kind of career that they should take up, or what is the kind of education that they should take up. And that's where it clicked that empowerment is the biggest thing, that if you empower people, they would be able to achieve whatever they want to. So that's what happened, and I just happened to connect with an old friend who was also into, he's a writer, and then we spoke about it, and then he came up with this idea of Kakhaga, that we can teach kids how to create stories. We can use various techniques which they can, apart from creating stories for entertainment, they can use these techniques in various aspects of their life. Okay, so that's how Kakhaga started.
Okay. Very interesting. Very
Yeah.
interesting. Now, since you were doing so good with your 2000 schools, what prompted you to get into a corporate entity and creating a company? How did the company was formed?
So basically, when we reached out to these 2000 schools, we spoke to a lot of parents, and all those things were happening. There was media interviews. There were like I did a lot of authored articles in the newspaper. I received a few feedback. I mean, a few people came up to me to tell me that how it has worked for them. But honestly, there was not a measurable, impact that I could see. That if I have reached out to 2,000 schools, if I have spoken to 1,200 parents and children, what is the measurable impact that I have gained? So I was not able to do so. So that was something which I was very uncomfortable about, because the organization or these workshops were did with a idea of reaching out to people and creating some kind of change in their life, but I was not able to measure it. So the thought of creating an organization which will keep a tap on what is happening, the amount of people that we are reaching out to, the amount of people who are converting into, or are taking advantage of what we are trying to communicate, is what prompted me to form a company, a formal setup wherein we can create that kind of impact on the larger masses.
Okay. And what were the challenges that you faced, Sonali, on your journey?
Well, I come, as I said, that I come from a very corporate background in terms of very corporatish. I mean, very structured background and things like that. And entering into a startup was a roller coaster ride for me, because I had very few. I mean, see, though I have worked with startups, but then having your own startup is a different thing, right? From understanding the financial part to the marketing part to the creative part was a different journey. And I got into a sector which was very alien to me, though it is very creative, which is animation. So it took me a lot of time to understand the nitty gritties of the sector and to grab and grasp the information. However, like my partner was there, he supported me through and through in this journey, made me understand the nitty gritties, even the costing. Then we attended a lot of events and expos, and met a lot of industry people. I've made a lot of industry friends who in who supported me and who educated me about the sector. So there were
Okay.
hurdles, but I found the solutions also too soon to it.
That's amazing, Sonali. So can you tell us more about how did the self-love thing happen and how it helped you move ahead on your journey?
Well, the self love was always there. I mean, acknowledgement happened very later, but during the entire journey of entrepreneurship, I realized that I am actually walking on the path that I want to. It's not that someone has pushed me onto it, or
Right,
it was a decision that I made for myself. And
right.
I would say that a lot of my friends who are like family to me, kept on hammering the fact in my head that this is what you should do for yourself. I mean, you have been doing so much for others, you should give the same amount of love to yourself. The moment that happened, I think that's when the business also started flourishing, and that's how the personal growth also started happening.
That's amazing, Sonali. So, in our episode, we asked the goddess for one of the gems. So, which gem that you would like to offer to our audience today?
Just love yourself however you are, dark, fair, with cellulites, with stretch marks, with dark circles, with frizzy hair, with anything, with mistakes, with achievements, with regrets, with no regrets. Just accept yourself and just love yourself is what I feel. It's the only gem I can give, and this is the only thing that I tell people, that just love yourself the way you are.
Perfect, Sonali, and that's so powerful. That's the essence of self-love, right? Like
Yes,
accept
absolutely.
yourself, celebrate yourself just the way you are, no comparisons, no nothing. Wonderful, Sonali. I'm sure our goddesses would like to follow you. What are your social media handles, Sonali? My storyteller.
You you can follow me on Instagram, which I am very active on. It's
Mm-hmm.
girl with curly hair, or
Okay,
you
that's
can
an
find
easy one.
or you can just find me as Sonali K on Instagram. So that's where I am very active on, and I connect with people on Instagram. Yeah. Or
Okay,
they can log on
perfect.
to our website, which is www.kakhagar.in.
Okay, perfect. So I'm sure our goddesses will love to follow you and hear more your stories. And so, goddesses, in our today's episode, how a small childhood passion becomes a reason to contribute to society, and how that contribution has led to a whole company at its own level. Sonali has gone and represented India in international exhibitions, and she has many national, international clients, and she has been very humble about the whole thing, but it's amazing to hear from you, Sonali. Thank you so much for your time and your wonderful gem of accepting and loving ourselves. Thank you so much, Sonali. Okay, goddesses, look forward to meet you in another episode of Planet Aphrodite with Meena. Signing off. Bye bye. See you. Namaste.
Bye. Namaste.